Yeah.
Now, as we mentioned, Mayor Mamdani hit the ground running today, announcing new action to make housing in New York City more affordable. Eyewitness News reporter Anthony Carlo continues our coverage with that part of the story. He joins us now live. Anthony.
Well, as Mayor Mamdani acknowledged that this is Inauguration Day, but he also said that this is the day the rent is due. We have heard him for quite some time now, pledging to protect tenants in his plan as mayor. And as we stand in one of the rent-stabilized buildings he pledges to protect, that is exactly what he did as he stood here today. Take a look at some video. The mayor and his team taking us on a tour of deplorable conditions inside this rent-stabilized apartment building on Clarkson Avenue, the cornerstone, or one of them, of Mayor Mamdani's campaign. We know freezing the rent for roughly 1 million rent-stabilized apartments. We know that proposal faces some uncertainty because it has to go through the Rent Guidelines Board. Before Mayor Adams left office, he appointed members to that board who could potentially complicate Mayor Mamdani's effort to get that done quickly into his term, effectively setting up roadblocks. Well, Mayor Mamdani today saying he is not waiting to deliver action, fighting for that rent freeze. That's only part of the plan. He announced 3 executive orders, citing them in this building today. First, reviving the mayor's office to protect tenants. The mayor says he will not compromise on housing quality. The city will step in if landlords are not doing the right thing.
And I don't hate what he's saying. I just think that it's misleading, because New York's situation when it comes to these rental caps that they have in place, it's largely because New York has a high tax bill when it comes to homes, when it comes to commercial property. When you have a high tax bill and the landlord has to cover that, or owner has to cover that, it rolls into the charges that they give to their renters. Whether you're leasing a commercial piece of property or whether you're leasing a townhome, a house, a condo, it doesn't matter. When you have a high rent bill, the same thing we see in Chicago right now, when it's high, the people who live there will also experience that. Now, the goal should be, how do we lower these property taxes? That should be, how do we now provide lower property taxes or property tax incentives for owners of homes that are rented out, and they're landlords. They have multiple units in their property. I don't hear that. I hear, I'm going after the homeowners. I'm going after the billionaires. I'm going after the millionaires. Guess what? They got a lot of tax havens that keep them protected. That's why you need to be one. That's why you need to stack your cheddar and be one. Because the more you learn about the tax havens that they have, the more you're going to want to be one. And the more you can be one, especially going into this new economy, this new way that we live in right now. That's the message they should be preaching. That's a message of hope. That's not the message that he's giving. It's, I'm coming after the landlords. What do you think the landlords are going to do? They're going to sell the property, okay? Or they're going to walk away from the property, okay? Or they're just going to kick everyone out until they can find a solution to navigate it. Yeah, they will do it. You can sub that house out to the federal government. I heard some guy talk about that one time. He's just going to sub out. He's just going to rent the house to ICE, to federal officers in New York, and let the federal government pay his bill until they decide to leave out.
Secondly, Mayor Mamdani announcing a LIFT task force. That stands for Land Inventory Fast Track, meaning city-owned land will be leveraged for housing development, getting New Yorkers into housing more quickly. And third, he created...
And this is the clown stuff I'm talking about. These are the things that you decide, that they're deciding you need to hear. You need to hear. This gives you gives New Yorkers the warm and fuzzy feeling that something is actually being done.
Another task force to remove the red tape that drives up costs and slows housing construction. Mayor Mamdani calling these sweeping measures.
We will not compromise on housing quality. If your landlord does not responsibly steward...
What's up with this girl right here? What's up with the girl next? What's up with her? Why does she look like that? Is that his wife? I hope that's not his wife, bro. But even if it is, bro, she looks just... That's kind of... When you on screen, like, at least smile.
Your home,
Please.
city government will step in. These are sweeping measures, but it is just the beginning of a comprehensive effort to champion the cause of tenants too long ignored and homes too expensive.
Now, interestingly enough, we also want to point out that Mayor Mamdani announced he is revoking all executive orders that were issued after the date of September 26th, 2024. You will remember that date because that is the day that Mayor Adams was indicted. The mayor today, Mayor Mamdani, saying, quote, "That was a date that marked a moment when many New Yorkers decided politics held nothing for them." He pledges to change that. We're live in Prospect Lefferts Gardens tonight. Anthony Carlo, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Woo. Yeah.
The first will be to revive the mayor's office to protect tenants. We will not compromise on housing quality. The second is to create a LIFT task force. LIFT stands for Land Inventory Fast Track, to leverage city-owned land and accelerate housing development. The last executive order is the creation of the SPEED Task Force. SPEED standing for Streamlining Procedures to Expedite Equitable Development. This task force will identify and remove bureaucratic and permitting barriers that drive up costs and slow housing construction and lease up.
Okay, so some of these executive orders that last minute key orders that Eric Adams put into place. Migrant buses, an order restricting the times and locations for charter buses dropping off migrants with potential fines and vehicle impounds for violation. So they don't believe that there should be any charter buses. There should be any restriction on the times that they bus in people from other, that they bus in illegal immigrants to New York, the sanctuary state. Woo! Israel BDS, an order prohibiting city officials from boycotting, divesting from Israel or companies associated with it, linking to the controversial IHRA definition of anti-Semitism. So an order prohibiting, so he restricted that order prohibiting city officials from boycotting or divesting. So Adams put that in there, which says that city officials can't prohibiting them from city officials from boycotting and divesting from Israel. So he removed that executive order and said city officials can boycott and divest from Israel or companies associated. So when you say that this is a Islamic, what is it, a Islamophobia? Yeah. And you know, it's interesting. I was looking at the stats of Israeli that he got a lot of Jewish votes leaving to get into that position. I wonder if you're Jewish and you're watching this, I don't know. Tell me what you think about it. Because the exit polls showed at least 50, 60, like a good high rate of Jewish Americans, Jews, voted for him in New York. New Yorkers who consider themselves Jewish voted for him in high amounts. Now he's telling you that he's removing that executive order that Eric Adams put into place, and now New York, public officers, officials can boycott and divest from any Israel or Israeli companies associated with it. But, hey, I don't really care too much about that, but it does to me clearly show that there is bias there. You know, in my opinion, there is. Other orders also rescinding were directives related to rat mitigation, cryptocurrency growth, and allowing ICE agents on Rikers Island. So he says no ICE agents allowed on Rikers Island. Response by News Manzati. Immediately he revoked on the first day, revoked several of Adams' post indictment orders, particularly those concerning Israel. Justification: Madani stated that these orders were signed after a date marking a low point in public trust. Supporters of Madani's actions praised the restoration of free speech and rejection of what they call overly broad definition of anti-Semitism. Could it be that the Jewish voters who voted for this guy kind of did a disservice to themselves?
I was elected as a democratic socialist, and I will govern as a democratic socialist. I will not abandon my principles for fear of being deemed radical. As the great senator from Vermont once said, what's radical is a system which gives so much to so few and denies so many people the basic necessities of life. We will strive each day to ensure that no New Yorker is priced out of any one of those basic necessities. And throughout it all, we will, in the words of Jason Terrence Phillips, better known as Jadakiss or Jay to the moi.
I've always felt it's very weird when you have politicians that quote rappers. And they don't do it. And I've seen this several times on MSNBC and NBC. I guess is an attempt to appeal to the culture or the average person. But it's weird because when I was looking at the crowd in another video, he said that and they were looking like, yeah, Jadakiss.
Be outside. Because this is a government of New York.
Look, be outside. I don't think AOC even knows what that means. She definitely doesn't know what they're looking like. Yeah, that's what the young people like. Jadakiss, be outside.
Oh no.
Okay, some people say, well, he's just attempting to speak to them in their own slang, things that they know that they're comfortable with. That I feel like you lower my IQ when you resort to like Jadakiss, Jay-Z. I mean, we do that in our little private sessions when guys talk about like something like, yeah, be outside. I'm like, yeah, we know what outside. Come on. These people don't know what's outside. But to me, that's the thing. It's like you're trying to appeal to a younger generation. And this is how you're saying that they only understand hip hop, and some people can disagree with it, but I just think it's just tacky. I just think it's tacky. I don't know. You tell me what you think. Drop a comment. You tell me I think it's tacky. I mean, I don't mind quoting Jay at certain times, but not when I'm in my inaugural. That's. What about those people that don't know it? So they're going to say, oh, yeah. So now you put them on to Jay. They go research Jay. Yeah, Jay said this statement. And now they're Jay-Z fans. And like his content is actually increasing the IQ of Americans. Boy, they know how to play us big time, bro. They really do know how to play us. They know how to play the public. Not me. They know how to play the public. I woke up to it. When I woke up to it, I said that this is kind of cringy. It's a little cringy. You got to admit, it is a little cringy.
By New York and for New York. Beginning today, we will govern expansively and audaciously. We may not always succeed, but never will we be accused of lacking the courage to try. To those who insist that the era of big government is over, hear me when I say this. No longer will City Hall hesitate to use its power to improve New Yorkers' lives.
So the era of big government isn't over. How do you know? Because we're going to use City Hall's big government power to improve your life. So stop thinking that big government, that era is over. Nick, bro, it's just getting started.
Oh no.
The same people who say that big government and big tech is controlling everything and we need to make these changes are using big government, and they will definitely use big tech if they could. Trust me. if they would have won 2024, this election in 2024, they would use big tech to censor the conversation that we're having right now. So if anything is said that goes against the warm and fuzzy feelings of these fairies feeling very fairy-like, we can bring it to an immediate stop. We need to halt it, put halts to it. As long as because it doesn't, because it's making us feel bad. I could go down a whole rant for that making us feel bad type of argument, but that's what keeps resurfacing when I see these guys argue about stuff. That's it. It's always, it makes us feel bad. It makes us feel bad. Okay. New York, good luck. Keep putting stuff on the table. That's content that can't stop contenting. I'm telling you, I can't stop it. I can't stop it. I will always have something to talk about when I look at this, because it's either the people that respond to crazy politicians, or it's the crazy politicians in themselves. And the crazier they get, they know the more that they're going to garner control or garner attention. So Zohran Mamdani is the face of the new left. He's just the face of it. This is how the young, hip face, yeah, he's going to inspire, just like Donald Trump inspired people. He's going to inspire that rise over there. And I'm not a hater of people that want to actually do something good for the community. I just don't like the lies and the deception that it takes to actually do it. We got to remember, guys, it's our responsibility to take care of our communities. Every time we put it in the hands of a big politician, and we even when we endorse these people that are from within our local ranks, we got to vet them to make sure that they're true to what they say. You know, we got to vet them. We got to vet them.